How's it going? Welcome to my old house. Today we're going to cut out a drum trap for a bathtub. I've got a bathtub on the first floor and it has this drum trap as part of the drain mechanism. Now, what is a trap? What is a drain trap? Well, let's say your wife loses her diamond ring and it falls down the drain. Most of the time this diamond ring does not end up in the sewer or in the septic tank, it ends up in the trap. It's a little place, like a little indentation in the plumbing where heavy things tend to lay. So you can recover that ring. It's also a place to get clogs, actually. If you have a lot of hair that goes down the drain, or you lose a toothpaste cap down the drain, it ends up in the trap a lot of the times. So that's where you unclog things. You unclog them from the trap. The reason you have the trap is so, again, these things don't end up in the sewer, and because your main drain does not get clogged. Because once your main drain gets clogged, it can be very expensive because a lot of times these are underground. So, anyhow, what's the problem with the drum trap? Well, I came down here when I bought the house. I hadn't seen this before. This house had been empty for like 2 years, and this was the bottom of the trap. Now, it's not supposed to look like this. See this big hole here? I think what happened was, this was down here on the bottom. I think there was some water left in here when they turned off the main water to the house. It froze and exploded. So basically, if I ran my bathtub up here right now, the water would come right out this hole. Drum traps are old school, like really old school, even older than me. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this drum trap out, and tomorrow we're going to put a P-trap in here. It's a new, updated type of thing. It's made out of plastic PVC. And the way we're going to cut the drum trap out is with the Sawzall. Let's take a look at that. This is a Sawzall, a reciprocating saw. This little thing goes back and forth. We got a nice blade on this thing. If you take a look, it's a metal blade. See the teeth on that? They're real fine. This can cut through steel pipe. Now we have to be careful because right here, some imbecile decided to put a gas line. This gas line is for if you wanted a gas dryer in your house. Not necessary. I don't use gas dryers. I don't know anybody uses gas dryers anymore. But it's here. We're going to leave it because I don't want to mess with gas lines right now. But we have to be very careful cutting this trap out. Well, keep in mind I'm not a professional plumber. In fact, sometimes I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I'm guessing my way through a lot of this. But I do know this. These pipes are very heavy, and once this pipe is finally cut in half, this might droop down quite drastically. I don't really want it to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this string here. I've got a piece of pipe up here that I'm going to tie this around just for some security. And voila! And sure enough, it dropped down a little bit, like I said it was going to. This is our drum trap. This is the drain line that goes to the main drain, which eventually ends up in the sewer. This is a nipple right here. This joins this T to the drain line. Now, why a T here? Well, this is old school plumbing. Who knows why they put it there? You don't need it there, but they have it there. Could have just been an elbow, but they used a T with a cap on the end. This nipple here that joins the drain to the trap, to the T for the trap rather, is about the diameter I think we're going to need to put a rubber hose on this. We're going to put a hose with a hose clamp on here to join a PVC P-trap to this big sucker. Now, is that the ideal way to do things? No. But this is my old house, and I'm not trying to replace all the drain lines, so I'm going to patch some stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this nipple as close to the T as possible, so I've got a place to put this hose and a place for a hose clamp. If I put it here, there's not really a good place for a hose clamp. Oh, look at that. It's hanging by that string I put it on. Look at that. Just dangling there. Hello, welcome to day 2 in the Blair Witch Project basement for the plumbing. Went and got my plumbing stuff, and these little collars are what I need. They're step-down collars. They go from 1.5 inch to 1 1/4. This is going to go right here, and this pipe here is the drain going to the sewer And then over here up in our little nook, we're going to have another one. I don't know if you can see, but I got another collar up here. In between those two collars, we're going to have this, a P-trap. This is what I was talking about. The trap is here instead of this big steel drum, like back in the Fred Flintstone days. So this guy is going to go in here. Here, I'll show you. This is going to go in here. Shove it in real good. And we're going to clear this gas pipe. Just because of the design of the trap itself. Is this to code? I have no idea, but it's going to work. Now here we have it, a brand new P-trap. Now this takes up a lot less room than that big old drum trap took up. Now what I've done is I've replaced everything with PVC. I even replaced the tub drain with PVC. Now I would have filmed that and shown it to you, but the space was so tight that I was working with, it would have been next to impossible. There was barely enough room for me to see, let alone get a camera lens up in there. But what I did was I used a lot of these. These are like pressure fittings, PVC. You get these little polyurethane gaskets like this. And you get these little guys right here, these little nuts. Goes on here like this. I'm probably using the wrong terminology, but I know what I'm talking about, and you can see it. Then you stick your pipe in here like so, tighten this, and what happens is that little plastic or that little polyurethane washer in there, it expands and gives you a watertight seal. And that's what all of this is. The only exception to that is right here with the coupler, which we talked about yesterday. Here's a coupler, and we've got a little piece of 1 1/4 inch pipe sticking in this side. Now you can see this side flares out. This is 1 1/2 inch, and that's what I use to go from the PVC to the steel drain pipe. So that's it for this project. We'll see you next time at my old house.